Everyone is leaving New York, Chicago, and San Francisco for the Midwest. But is Columbus, Ohio really as affordable as the headlines say? Today we aren't just looking at the average home prices, we're digging into the granular data. I pulled the exact numbers directly from the Franklin County Auditor, the U.S. Census Bureau, and recent local utility averages so you know exactly what to expect. I'm talking property taxes by school district, what your utility bills will look like in January, and what you'll actually pay at the grocery store. I'm Joe Holland, your Central Ohio real estate advisor. If you're relocating to Columbus in 2026, setting a realistic budget is the difference between loving your city and becoming house poor. Let's break down the true cost of living in the 614. Let's start with the biggest shock for out-of-state buyers. Property taxes. In Ohio, your property taxes are heavily tied to your school district, and they vary wildly depending on where you draw your property line. I'm going to put a little helper up here to explain what mills are. Instead of getting bogged down in all the complexities of tax math, let's look at how effective tax rates compare based on data from the local county auditors. As I go along, I'm going to try and put a little bubble up on the screen there for you. For example, the Columbus City School District has a baseline tax rate of about 26. But if you move to a highly sought out northern suburb like Dublin, you're going to pay a premium for the schools. Dublin's effective tax rate is noticeably higher at 41.5, and Olentangy is even higher at almost 54. So Joe, what does this mean for my wallet? If you're coming from California or New York, some of these home prices might look like a steal. You must factor these local tax rates into your monthly pre-approval budget. Next up, utilities. Columbus has 4 very distinct seasons. Our summers get really hot and humid, and our winters can be pretty harsh, which means your HVAC system will be putting in some work. I'm going to look over here to my screen to make sure I reference these numbers correctly. On average, residents pay around $191 a month for electricity and about $112 a month for gas. If you buy an older historic home in German Village, expect those bills to be a little bit higher due to a little bit less insulation compared to a new build in Hilliard, Ohio, which is going to be much more energy efficient. High-speed internet averages about $68 a month, and a standard cell phone plan is roughly about $80. I don't think that's right. Well, that's standard. I don't know what standard means, but I think ours is like for 2 people, ours is about $200. So for basic home operations, you probably want to budget between $400 to $450 a month to keep the lights on, keep it warm, and keep the internet flowing. Okay, so let's talk about feeding your family. I'm going to read off these here just to make sure I get these right. Currently, the standard grocery prices look like this. A gallon of milk is $4.64, a dozen eggs is $4.17, and a loaf of bread is $4.19. I feel like I get bread cheaper, but where you shop matters. Columbus is the headquarters for Kroger, so you're going to find those bad boys everywhere. But if you want to stretch your dollar, Aldi here is super popular. They regularly beat out the competitors on produce and staples for the home. If you're a foodie looking for some global ingredients, you have to check out Saraga International Market on Morse Road. I think it's Saraga. I'm not even sure how to say it. All I know is it's a massive local favorite. You're going to find deals and specialty foods that you're not going to find at your regular grocery store. So I've heard that some of the biggest reasons people move from New York and Chicago and San Francisco are the commute times. In NYC, the average one-way commute is over 40 minutes, and in Chicago, it's about 33.5 minutes. So in Columbus, we're known as the 20-minute city. You can get anywhere in about 20 minutes, no matter where you're located. Even with our recent growth and traffic getting crappier, you're really still seeing like 20-25 minutes. If you rely on public transit, COTA is extremely affordable. 31-day unlimited pass is just $62, and a one-way fare is only $2. And we're also going to get Linkas here soon. If you're driving downtown for dinner to short north, you got a hot date, parking downtown is very reasonable compared to coastal cities. Parking in a garage typically starts around $3 and goes up to $6 for about 2 hours. So you're not going to be paying $40 just for like dinner for a couple hours. Us here locally, we kind of think the parking downtown sucks, and while it could be a lot better, there's a lot of room for improvement to be had. They're currently working on it. It's way better than other major cities. So how does Columbus compare with these cities that people are leaving? Well, the national median home price sits somewhere around $430,000, and here in Columbus, it's in the mid 300s. Meaning your dollar stretches much farther here. So when you compare housing affordability with utility costs and transportation, it's a massive upgrade. As I mentioned earlier with property taxes, where you move to in Columbus dictates your cost of living. If you're planning on a relocation, don't guess on the math. Go down to the description and download my free 2026 Columbus Relocation Guide. It has everything you need about these local costs, school districts, and neighborhoods. And when you're ready to map out a specific buying strategy, click the link to book a one-on-one Zoom discovery call with me. Let's find the perfect Columbus neighborhood for your budget. See you in the next video.